I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black business. I am Black business. Are you Black business? I am Black business. Do you support Black businesses? I support Black business because I am Black business. Black Business Expo, one of the largest business showcases in the history of Black business in the world. Sign up today at www.blackbusinessexpousa.com or call 919-308-9090. I am Black business. I am Black business. From the moment I wake until the time I sleep, I am Black business. I am Black business. Are you Black business?
Did you know that entrepreneurs all around the world just want to be seen, heard, and provide great service? Well, I know that there is an expo that's going on to help entrepreneurs all around the world do just that and much more. Hi, I'm Dr. Lotus Rashay. I'm the CEO of Lotus Rashay Life Coaching and Consulting, along with being the show host of the Lotus Rashay Night Show, news you can use and bring who you are. And today I'm bringing to you some amazing information about the Black Business Expo USA, hosted by none other than the remarkable Dr. Eric Kelly. And I welcome you.
I'm over here talking up a storm and not even on mute. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. My name is Nicole Maxwell. I'm CEO of Black Multiverse Enterprises. I am also the founder of the Blackverse Metaverse community and the owner of Technical Consulting. I'm also the hostess and executive producer for the Meta Mindshift show and a proud member of the board of directors for the Black Business Network, Black Business Expo, and the Black Business Olympics. You are here today for a Grow with Google training. And so I am extremely excited for today's session that we are going to get started here in just a minute. But what is this all about? What are our organizations about? My organization, Black Multiverse Enterprises, is a gold certified high impact partner with Grow with Google. We established that partnership in order to provide education to our communities about what's going on in Web 2. My name is Nicole Maxwell, and most things that I talk about are the metaverse and the future of decentralization and the blockchain, all empowered by the blockchain for the future of Web 3. Decentralization is a key component of that whole thing. And so I am also in partnership with Google, and we are preparing people to have space to understand Web3. I have a vision for myself, for my business, for our communities. And that vision requires that we have some folks who are skilled up in various things. Google just happens to have the perfect opportunity, the perfect kind of component to this. So I want to say thank you to Google. Thank you to everyone who has tuned in to us, no matter where you are tuning in. And so let's talk about that for a second. So we have, again, we are sponsored by the Black Business Network. This series has streamed every Tuesday and Thursday live to the Black Business Network. It has streamed to Black Multiverse TV as well as to Blackverse TV. We are also streaming to Twitch and to Twitter and to Roku and Amazon, and you'll be able to watch all of these trainings in all of those different locations. If you want to stay connected to us, the best way to do that is to connect on blackmultiverse.live. Then that's our YouTube. So you can go right out there and check out what we've been doing, because every Tuesday and Thursday since the end of September, we made a commitment as an organization to provide training and these types of skill up programs to anyone who wanted to tap in. And so you are one of those people. You are tapping in right now. Today is a very, very special session. And so I am joined for our first collaboration by Fred Brandon of the Flames Foundation. And so Fred, get on up here and tell us a little bit about you. Tell us about your business and what it is that you do.
Hey, how's it going, Nicole? How's everyone? My name is Fred Brandon. I have been in the tech space for a very long time, and I decided to try to get more people, especially people who look like me, into the tech space. So thus, I started the Fred Brandon Flames Foundation, which is all about helping more individuals find their way into this tech space. We reached out to many people over the last year. We've only been around since 2021, and within those several months, we were able to get over 10,000 people into a data science program and get them to start to be more skilled up. We understand where things are going, and we just want to make sure that our people are better prepared.
Hey, I love it. This is going to be a very fun session today. So as I said, we are going to be talking today about how to make better business decisions. You are in the Grow with Google training for how to make better business decisions with analytics. If you've been tapping in with us, then last week, on Tuesday, matter of fact, of this week, you actually learned a little bit about Google Analytics and kind of how you can make use of that to get your online presence seen. You may have tapped in with us and learned a little bit about SEO, search engine optimization, and how to put your website out there to really help you get seen. Today, we're going to talk about how to use all of that, but actually use it to make some decisions in your business. Data is at the forefront of all of these conversations about Web3 and versus Web2, traditional versus the new wave of doing things, centralized versus decentralized. At the heart of it is data. Data is something that definitely provides us with ways to make data definitely provides us with ways to make better business decisions and to be able to actually analyze what's going on in our industry. We saw last week that we had Google Trends, and Google Trends was a way for us to check out what was trending in search engines and searches and across the world, and how to really target things in terms of a locale or a location. We also reviewed a whole bunch of other things. So this has been a series about the basics. So if you don't know how to use the free tools and resources that Google has to offer to you, this is the perfect place for you. It is also the perfect place for you if you do know how to use those things, but you want to be a little bit more technically savvy. I absolutely teach people how to be technically savvy. That is what my business has been founded on. And as a technologist at heart, I am always coming across different technologies, and I love being able to actually share that with people. So let's go ahead and get started, y'all. So we are going to go ahead and I am going to share my screen with you. We're going to start up and be able to talk about making better business decisions with Google Analytics. So again, no matter where you are, take a minute, take 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, find the like, subscribe, or the follow button and do all of that. So please support us because we are doing this. This is a free service that we've been offering for the last couple of months or last couple of weeks. And we intend to continue offering this throughout the end of the year because we want people to have tangible skills. So today, let's make better business decisions with Google Analytics. All right. So one of the great advantages of today's era of big data is that we are able to have access to some really good information about our customers. All right. So, my Web3 flavor, every time I hear stuff like this, my little radars start going up, but I'm here today to help us learn. So I am going to try to table that as much as possible. All right. Not only does the data show who we are, but it also shows how we are responding to data, to what we call calls of action on our website. Like you guys hear that constantly if you're a business owner. We hear, we see web-based ads, we hear social media ads, and all sorts of different things that are done because they know that this is what we want to see. Imagine having this amount of data dropped right on into your inbox. What is it that you would do with it? All right, you got it. Now what do you do with it, right? That's always a question. So one good way to manage your data is by using Google Analytics. And so like I said, we did do a quick overview of this. We're going to get into the weeds a little bit today. All right, so Google Analytics lets you find connections, patterns, and themes within the realms and reams of all that data so that you have a genuine understanding of how your customers behave. Okay, this brings us to the point of this slide. Viewing reports filled with a bunch of numbers and statistics, it isn't enough, right? Like that might make your briefcase heavy, but it's not enough to make you rich. You want to understand the story that's behind all those numbers and what that means for your business. So we're going to talk about how to use those analytics to gain insights that can help. All right, so on the surface, it might look like a lot of numbers and figures that might help you find out that you might find that are really super encouraging or very discouraging, depending on what they say, right? But did you see a sales bump last month? Did you notice the timeline that it happened? Did your website take a dive last quarter? Maybe. Do you know that though? That's the question. Big data, data can tell you a bigger story. You might have had fewer visitors to your site, but the data might show that they are return customers and that they bought more products. You can learn things like, where are your shoppers coming from? Is it from your social media? Are they coming from search results? And are they finding you organically or by an ad that you put out? Which pages do people seem to find the most interesting? Is there a video that people just are not watching? Understanding the patterns, understanding the story behind that data helps put you in a better position to create effective campaigns. So let's watch this quick video.
I think it's a really exciting time to be.
Uh-oh. We're doing a lot on this end, so it may not run.
Woman entrepreneur at T-Drops. We had 15
Yeah, we're going to skip the T-Drops video. So my apologies for that.
incredible,
There we go.
amazing women who are very diverse.
No T-Drops for us, but that's okay because we are going to keep right on pushing with this presentation. Give me just a second. All right, so let's review today's agenda. We are going to discuss the basics of using Google Analytics to better understand your site visitors and what they look like, where they're coming from. You are going to start to get an overview of the current version of Google Analytics. And then we're going to go over your account. So things like your features, your reports, the Google Analytics search box. So what information do you actually have access to? And we're going to show you how to link Google Analytics to Google Ads. We're going to wrap up by giving you a few additional resources. And so, you know what? We're going to go over a whole lot of things today. So if this feels a little overwhelming to you, first of all, that's all right. This is a new concept for a lot of folks, and it is a lot. And so we're going to give you the tools that will help you as you go forward. I suggest that you keep a hold of this video. This video is going to be available on our YouTube. You can come back at any point in time, chunk it up, watch it in parts, push pause when you need to, actually go through the steps and iterate. So continue to do that. And the more and more you do it, the more practice that you put, and the more you put this into use in your business, you're going to actually find that it becomes an invaluable resource. And that's true of whether you are Web 2 or Web 3. All right. Okay, so let's get started. What is Google Analytics? Well, let's break the word down, right? It's Google and it's analytics, right? So it's analytics. So let's take a look at a hypothetical entrepreneurial team. We've got here with us, this is Ava and Ricky. And Ava and Ricky started out by selling boutique fashions at craft fairs and some local events. Over time, they built up a loyal customer base, and that customer base absolutely loved their designs, and they always kept coming back for more. When Ava and Ricky had to stop selling because of 2020, COVID, and the pandemic, they ended up pivoting their business, and they started an online store, or what we call an e-commerce store. Before, when things were physical and in present, Eva, and Ricky had been making the most of their big decisions based on their gut, right? So the number of people who were walking through my door, oh, I got a sale this week. Like, it's really easy to do that when you're in person, but when you're online, sometimes it doesn't feel like you're getting seen. They realized that when selling online, it gave them the opportunity to grow beyond their local reach, right? So beyond what's in front of you, you can reach out to the whole entire world, literally, right? So they were able to go from being relatively small and their relatively small but loyal customer base and start thinking about scaling and moving up and getting bigger and branching out, right? Throughout this workshop, we're going to show you how Ava and Ricky used Google Analytics to take that next step in their business. The questions that they are facing are similar to many small business owners. As we're going through today's workshop, I want you to think about the questions that you have so you can learn how Google Analytics can help you to find the answers and to find the story that's actually behind that data, okay? So I want you to, if you are at this point right now, I want you to go to support.google.com/analytics. And that will actually get you to a place where you can always find support. So I want to start off with that because I want you guys to know where to access that. But again, we will provide all of that information to everyone who signed up. You will get that at the outset of today's session, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and take a minute and pause here. We're going to let everybody in. Let everybody in who is waiting in the wings. All right. So let's talk about this a little bit, right? So Eva and Ricky felt really confident in making gut decisions. As they built their business, they knew their customers really, really well, right? So we all know you do business with people that you know, like, and trust. Like that's kind of standard. But they would see these people over and over and over again at these local events. So they got some really good press from those people. They were able to get referrals and things like that from those people. And they got some of their best ideas from having conversations with those people. But when they started selling online, guess what? They continued using this gut instinct to help them create products. However, they didn't exactly see the numbers that they were hoping for, right? Like, so sometimes that happens. We all know that, especially as business owners. Sometimes that just happens. What happened in the transition from going from the craft fairs to the online stores? Sometimes when you're making gut decisions based on your instinct, especially if you're in a closed off kind of community and you have regular contact with your customers, it's really easy to do. But when you are basing decisions on a broader spectrum of customers and a broader spectrum of customers in different locations, you need access to some different information. So a good gut decision might have better results if it's supported by actual data. So here's an example of a gut decision, right? So it's important to know the difference. If a new item wasn't selling, Ava and Ricky just assumed the new design was terrible and cut the price and then took it as a loss and moved on, right? So they assumed their customers just didn't like it. But if they could have looked at the data, they may have noticed that while overall sales were below average, the people who were buying the item were clustered into one particular city, or the referrals were coming from a very specific fashion influencer. That kind of information can lead them to focusing their marketing efforts towards something that's more specific and in a more specific direction for that particular product, right? So if you notice that you've got, the ear of someone who they call an influencer or someone who is talking favorably about your business, it might make sense for you to lean into that a little bit more. As Ava and Ricky started to learn more about their site and their site visitors through the Google Analytics report, they were able to make sharper business decisions for the overall business. All right. Ava and Ricky's first step towards greater success was to set a SMART goal. So what is a SMART goal? A SMART goal is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. It's SMART, okay? So a SMART goal is specific. Instead of making more sales calls, I am going to make 10 sales calls this week. Instead of increasing my website visits, I am going to increase website visits by 10% this quarter, right? So you define what that goal looks like, you niche it down, you make it real specific, get in there and get it sticky, right? You make sure that your goal is measurable. In order to see if you're accomplishing the goal, there has to be a way to track it and a way to measure it. Depending on what that goal is, you can identify reports in Google Analytics that can help show you if you're actually meeting your goal. You want to make it attainable. A is for attainable. It's okay to dream big, because Lord knows I do, but it's also good to be realistic. Make sure that your goal is something that you can actually get accomplished, you and your business. You want to make sure that it's relevant. This is the why of the goal, right? Why am I doing this? It's relevant to you. It's relevant to your mission. It's relevant to the business. How is this thing helping my business to succeed and attain all of my other goals? You also need a deadline. By setting SMART goals, Ava and Ricky have a really clear idea of what they expect to happen and when they expect it to happen, so they can help avoid getting sidetracked. So some of us have laser vision. Others of us, we see the whole entire world, and like every time something happens, we're like bouncing around like doo, 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 doo. But you have to do what works for you, your personality, but also make sure that you're setting these SMART goals so that you can help to attain them, right? So it's just a methodology that you can use to help you be a little bit more smart in your business. All right, now let's make some goals. So if your business does not have goals, are you really in business, right? So your business cannot have a goal of, oh, we don't want to have any customers this year, right? If you're doing that, then you're fostering an idea. You're not working on a business, okay? So you want to make sure that you have business goals. Eva and Ricky, let's go back to them. They live in a small town, and in order to grow their business, they need to find customers in other cities and in other states, right? So they want to, what is that word? Scale. They want to scale their business. That's another way of saying grow. After doing some market research, they decided to try to build their business in some very close metropolitan areas, so big cities. After checking in with their Google Analytics, though, they learned that their website wasn't getting any traction in those spaces. So they literally were not even being seen in the big cities. That information helped them to develop a SMART goal, which is increasing website visitors to 3 metropolitan areas by 10% in the next quarter. Okay, so they are going to go from 0 to 10%, and that's a measurable chunk of growth, right, in a very specific area. They then developed marketing campaigns that focused on those cities and the people in those cities, the markets in those cities. Throughout the quarter, they regularly reviewed their Google Analytics reports to learn more about the visitors from those cities and then use that information to fine-tune the strategy, right? So we all got to have a strategy. How did they do? Well, give us a few minutes. We'll come back to Eva and Ricky a little bit later. But now it's your turn. So how are we going to do this? Let's decide. What are your goals? This is a good question. When you're a business owner, what are your goals? What are the goals of the business? What are you doing? Before we get into the details of that, we absolutely need to think about these goals. So we can't go into Google Analytics without focus because you would get lost in the sauce, as they say. Increased sales is a common goal, but you want to be able to break that down into some specific steps along with your journey for your customers. You might need to generate some leads. You might want to increase some phone sales to the business, schedule more appointments, drive foot traffic into a store and increase downloads, or any number of other different things. You might want to sell a very specific product. That is a goal, that's a target that you can have, right? These are things that you can track directly in Google Analytics, and they can help you to create, or you can create your SMART goals around these little tiny steps or intermediary steps to help you lead to increased success and increased sales. Now, think about the steps in the customer's journey. Consider how you frame your goals and your tools and the tools that you're going to need to help you monitor that progress. If you already have a website, which you should, if you already have a website, is there a way for you to track progress? Can you know whether or not potential customers are taking these intermediary steps? Do you know when someone is a brand new customer or when they're a recurring customer? Is this someone who hovers on your site every day because they love looking at your beautiful face, or are they actually interested in your product? For those of you who haven't yet created a website, think about the path or the journey that someone might take before they buy your product or your service. Be sure that your website makes it really easy to complete these steps, okay? So you want to have a really good customer journey. Okay, finally, let's dive into Google Analytics. This is a no-cost tool that is available. It is one of the most popular analytics options in the whole entire world, right? So Google develops some really great products when it comes to being able to track activity on your website. If you are not using this, you are missing out. And that is not actually FOMO, except it kind of is. I coined a term. FOMO is fear of missing out. Nicole Maxwell's term is AMO. That is actually missing out. When you're not using Google Analytics, you are actually missing out because you don't have the insights that you need about your traffic. Google Analytics reports can help you to understand visitor behavior on your website and what actions they take. It can also help you to see how customers are finding your site, and then also help you to track conversions on your site. So a conversion is when one customer goes from one thing to another. They're converting within that sales cycle. So key actions that your users can take on your site, such as completing a purchase, signing up, submitting a form, signing up for your newsletter, or scheduling an appointment. So those are all different types of conversion. Ultimately, the goal is for them to lead to a sale, right? If you are here in the Google Meet and you have questions, I do ask that you type them into the chat. We're going to come to you, but we're doing a little bit different collaboration here today. So we're going to make sure that we get to a certain point, and then we'll pause and we'll take questions, because we want to honor the fact that you have joined us here today. So we appreciate you guys. All right. Once you begin using Google Analytics, you can start getting a clearer picture of who's visiting your site and which groups of visitors are more likely to help you achieve your goals. For example, you might cover that social networks are bringing lots of people to your website, but these visitors don't buy a thing, okay? So have you ever experienced that? I have definitely experienced that. Conversely, you might find that an email marketing campaign nobody opened your email at all. You can see that if you actually have an email tool. For example, I use Constant Contact. So I know when people open that email and when they don't. And so I can also tell what that looks like downstream. So did the people who opened the email ultimately end up being customers, or did I get my customers a different way? Where do I put my time and my efforts if I'm seeing that nobody's actually opening my emails, but people are responding to the sound of my voice? Like, that might be, a great insight for you. Google Analytics is not going to give you a whole lot of information about individuals, but it is going to give you information about how groups of people with similar characteristics are behaving on your site. Okay, so you're going to still be able to see a whole lot about those types of visitors. You might be surprised at the data that's actually being collected from you, even though it's not individual per se, right? So how exactly can you use Google Analytics? Well, let's start with the role of your website, right? That's a great place to start. Ideally, it's going to lead the user from one page of useful information to another page, all the way up until they take action, right? Google Analytics reports can show you when that process is going smoothly and where the stumbling blocks are. It can give you information about who is coming to your site and how they found it and what they did once they got there, right? Like, did they walk away? Did they abandon cart? Or did they purchase like everything in the cart? Did they click on your affiliate links? That kind of thing. Google Analytics, you can use it to understand the content that your audience is most interested in. So evaluating how visitors are moving through your site can help you to see which pages are appealing to your visitors and which just are not effective at all. So you might be able to make some adjustments to the content whenever it's necessary. Okay, finally, it's going to help you to evaluate the channels that are driving the most conversions. So understanding where your visitors are coming from. Is it social media? Is it email marketing? Is it coming from search results and organic search results or ad-based search results? This kind of thing is going to help you to create smarter advertising, content, and design decisions. You are a business owner, so you have the power to make decisions about your business. It is empowering to you to have data on your side that will help you to make those better decisions. All right, so before we get too far into the details, let's discuss versions. All right, so Google Analytics, there's three versions really that we need to be aware of, but we're gonna start with the version that was created before October of 2020. It is an older version that is called UA. Okay, so you would have a universal analytics identifier, right? So those UA identifiers, if you're looking at the screen right now, they looked like the one on the bottom, I believe. So the product definitely evolved. And so now new accounts have the latest version, which is called Google Analytics 4. There is a replacement for the ID numbers that were previously given, okay? So Google Analytics 4 replaces Google Analytics Universal Analytics. If you use Universal Analytics now, it's time to make the switch, because starting on July 1st, New data will flow into the Google Analytics for properties only. So you're getting cut off, all right? Things are evolving. You will be able to view older analytics reports for another 6 months after that, but they are not going to be updating. So what good is that to you? There is no useful information coming through there. So it's time to upgrade. Google Analytics 4, the advantages of this. So first of all, it's privacy focused. It is designed to adapt as the technology landscape continues to evolve. Man, that's a whole conversation, a mouthful that we can talk about all day long. And I love talking about all day long is the evolution of technology and data and humans and humanity as we move forward into a Web3 based society. It is going to empower using machine learning. That machine learning unearths insights about your customer's journey across platforms and devices. Again, another reason for Web3. And the reporting can also show website activity and app activity in the same user interface. So how can you tell which version you have? Well, you're going to want to look at the property ID. So on the bottom, you see Universal Analytics property IDs start with UA at the beginning. Okay, so at the bottom, you can see that. The Universal Analytics property ID, it's 3 parts. So you're going to see UA and then a long number and then the number 1. Okay, so it's got some dashes in there. The new property ID, so the Google Analytics 4 IDs, only just have the numbers. So that's it. Okay, to find your property ID, sign in to Google Analytics. All right. In the top left-hand corner, you're going to go to the Google Analytics logo and click the down arrow to open the property selector. The leftmost column lists your accounts and the next column lists your properties. The property you currently have open is highlighted in gray. Look at the number below the property to identify the property type. So that doesn't make sense unless you already have a Google Analytics account. Let's go over how to actually set one up. So let's pretend that you don't already have one. Let's go over the steps for setting up a new account and also how to migrate an existing Google Analytics account over to Google Analytics 4. All right, so to start collecting data from your website or from your app, the first thing we're going to do is create a Google Analytics account. So I want you to go to g.co, and then you're going to go to, oh, we got a hot mic there. We're going to go ahead and mute that mic. Thank you. All right, so we're going to go to g.co/analytics. Or you're going to go to google.com/analytics or search for Google Analytics, whichever way is the best for you. And then you are going to create an account, click on Get Started Today. Okay. To sign into your account, you're just going to click on Sign In to Google Analytics. All right. So if you use a website builder platform or what we call a CMS, a content management system, CMS is what that is, CMS. It might not be set up to accept the new property ID format. In this case, you gotta wait. You're gonna need to take some other steps to set up your Google Analytics for your site. The link on the slide is gonna help you to send you over to the Help Center, and that's gonna get you some additional information to help you actually step through these steps. But for now, just go ahead and create a brand new account if you don't already have one. And if you have the older version of Analytics and it's already set up, you are going to just add Google Analytics 4 to your account also. You will not be able to access reports for both sets, but you won't lose your old data, and the older version of Google Analytics is going to continue to collect data all the way up to July 2nd of 2023. After that, the new data will only be in the Google Analytics 4 reports. Many accounts already have the option to use Google Analytics 4 as a setup assistant. Here's how you do that. You're going to be able to sign in to your Google Analytics account and click on Admin on the left navigation bar. And that's the green gear icon on the bottom, okay? Click on GA4 setup, GA4 setup. And that's the setup assistant. It is going to be the first option in the second column labeled property. Follow the prompts, and in the wizard will take you through the steps to guide you into Google Analytics 4. It can take up to 30 minutes for your data to begin appearing on your new property. So just be aware that there's going to be a little gap in time where you're not going to know something. If you're somebody who that really impacts you, do it overnight so you don't have to be worried, okay? If you cannot use the setup assistant, there are going to be really detailed instructions in the help center. So every situation is not the same. Everything, there's going to be different scenarios that you're going to have to step to. But we want to be able to provide you that insight. So I will provide this link to everybody who is in our Google Meet. So first of all, thank you guys for being here. Second of all, we are going to say thank you, and we are going to go ahead and thank some of our sponsors for a minute. When we come back, Mr. Fred Brandon, the one and the only Fred Brandon, is going to be here, and he's going to show us how to understand our account, okay? So you guys are going to take a really quick break, and we'll be right back. Thank you so much, and don't forget to like and subscribe no matter where you are, and we appreciate you for being here. All right, so welcome back, guys. Thank you for being here. We are now going to enter into the next section, which is understanding your account. You are here today with a joint collaboration between Black Multiverse Enterprises and the Fred Brandon Flames Foundation. We are very happy to be able to partner together with Grow with Google to deliver some information on how to make better business decisions with Google Analytics. We've just gone over kind of the basics. What is Google Analytics and why would you actually need it? Now we're going to go through how to actually understand the account that you've just set up. Go ahead, Fred.
All right, great. Thank you, Nicole. We learned so much in the first segment of this. I can't wait to get to this next part. So now that you know how to set up your Google Analytics account, let's dive into it, how you can actually use it, right? All right, so once you've created and signed into your Google Analytics, you'll see a home page. It's very user-friendly. You'll see a dashboard, featuring the metrics that you look up on a frequent basis when you're in an account, as well as the trend line. The default dashboard answers common reporting questions, but you can also customize it to show other metrics that apply to your business objectives. You can navigate to other reports within Google Analytics, see recently viewed reports, and scroll down to find insights related to how visitors are using your site. But before we move on, I want to point out one feature, the search box at the top of the page. Right, this is going to be one of your best utilized tools there. It connects you to the tool called Analytics Intelligence, which makes it easier to find the answers that you're looking for. So we'll learn more about that in a little bit. But for now, let's explore the different kinds of reports that you have at your fingertips here. So the information that's gathered by Google Analytics goes into a wide variety of customizable reports. Reporting lets you see valuable data about your users and their behavior across your websites and mobile apps. We'll introduce some report categories to help you first get started. First, we have real time. What's happening on your website right now or your app right now? That's always key data. Next, we have the acquisition. Where did your website visitors come from? Right? You have so many different opportunities. If it came from links, if it came from your email, things of that sort. Just understanding where they came from. Next, we have engagement on your site or app. What pages are your visitors looking at, and how are they navigating the site? That's always a good measure of understanding where your users and your customers are clicking, how long they're staying there, things of that sort. Monetization. In the case of like an e-commerce site, are you selling products? You would know this at that bottom line. So we really want to be able to grasp as much data as possible. And then next is just like retention. How frequently do your visitors, come back to your site, and how long do they stay on it? And finally, tech. What devices and what browsers are your visitors really using? Are they in Chrome? Are they in any of those other ones, right? What are they using to access your websites and your apps? So I think that's one of the great ways that we can start going through there. In almost any type of report you create, you can customize many of the options, such as the date range. You can also customize reports using filters to narrow the information to just what you want. That is really going to be key for you. Sometimes we have this thing where it's just information overload and we don't really know what we're looking at. And this is where data analytics comes down. It gives you that ability to drill down, to get to specifics of really what you're looking for. And you can compare the two different sets of data for comparison, such as visitors this month versus visitors last month. One quick note to keep in mind that the numbers shown in Google Analytics may not be exact. However, they are accurate enough to give you a solid understanding and monitor your trends. So yeah, we're going to be able to use those, real-time data, things of that sort, but just know that sometimes it is not always current because everything's being tabulated in different ways. So as we mentioned, the real-time report, what's happening right now? So let's look at that and see how we can really use it. Real-time reports, they let you monitor activity on your app or website as it's happening. So like some of the information you might use are the number of users during the last 30 minutes or per minute. Users by source, medium, or campaign, in other words, where are your users coming from? That's always key to understand the demographics and geographic locations of where everyone is coming from, how many concurrent users you have on your app, because that may mean that you may need to scale it out. If it's an app that you're creating, as opposed to maybe your website, you may have to have additional resources. Users, let's go back to that. Users, are they new? Are they old? All of them understanding by audience based on reporting conditions that you set. You also want to be able to see the users by website page, title, or developer supplied app screen name. That kind of tells you what content that they're most engaged with. You also want to look at the events that's going to be distinct to all the interactions that's on the website or the app, like loading a page or clicking a link, and conversions, desirable actions that they're really going to be able to complete. Are you actually making that sale? Is it any other interactions that they are responding to on your app or your website? So with real-time reports, you can immediately and continuously monitor the effects that these new campaigns and these site changes have on your website. Or, do they tend to stay in one area more than others? Are they interested in the new things or the new programs or the new projects that you have? You're going to be able to utilize all those data. So, like, for example, you can use real time to gauge the impact of a big media campaign, then use the information to prepare for future events. You might also learn that you should increase stock before an email blast, or bring in extra staff to be able to handle the increased demand. So next we have the acquisition. Where do these customers come from, right? We want to be able to talk about that. These reports kind of show the data of how your users arrived on your website or your mobile app. Your user acquisition gives you an overview of how visitors find your site. Are they first-time visitors? Are they returning visitors? So you may see that a brand new user came to the site via search, and returning visitor, got there via an email blast, right? This gives you the opportunity to spot the trends, understand exactly what they are, so it allows you to help, better help your users. In the slide shown here, we can see that 374,000 new users found the site from an organic search, 112,000 from a referral site, 32,000 from a cost per clicks ad, and 1,300 from the email blast. So we understand that we have a lot of different ways that we can start to kind of look at where our users are coming from. Traffic acquisition reports show where users are online, or right before they arrive to your site. This information can also help you understand the effectiveness of your marketing efforts, right? So there are other platforms out there that kind of understands they have tracking cookies, they have a lot of different things, so they know exactly where you're coming from and what prompted them, or if there was an ad on that page. It kind of gives you that extra ability to just understand where your customers are coming from. So the engagement reports presents a picture of how people navigate through your site or mobile app and how they interact with it. So, for example, you can see when users are, checking an account balance or scroll down a page slowly, which indicates they're actually reading, viewing product details or spending time on a product page, watching possibly an informational video, right? Engaged sessions shown on the screen right here is going to give you that collection of events that indicate the users is actively engaged with the website. An engaged session is a session that lasts 10 seconds or longer, has one or more conversion events, and or has 2 or more page views, right? So if we are running a e-commerce store, if we're having something like Shopify or any of those type of things, we want to understand exactly what people are clicking on. So we're probably going to use some type of monetization reports. These reports, tell you everything more than just having that final click in the sale. So we really want to know how they got there. In addition to showing revenue generated by product sales, ads, and subscriptions, A monetization reports let you see the number of views for each item that you sell, the number of ad impressions in your app, and more. So seeing the ratio between views and purchases for products can help you to adjust your content, increase sales, maybe use higher quality photos and bundling products or reworking copy and making sure that you know exactly what's selling and probably promote that even more. And now we have the retention. How loyal are your customers? These retention reports help you understand how frequently and how long users engage with your website or your mobile app after they first visit. I think that is one great indicator to see if someone, we're using the account of how many people are visiting the site, but we want to know exactly, wasn't an accident. did they just click on it by accident, or were they actually engaged in the page? So in other words, do they come back? How long is, do we have those tracking cookies on for how long, and, do they return? So kind of, remember, while these things are not necessarily exact numbers, but they do give us an indication of what's working and what's not. And last but not least, there's tech reports, right? Trying to keep up with your audience. Understanding the technologies your audience uses lets you fine tune your website and app for future changes. For example, you want to make sure that your site is fully functional in current browsers. It works well on mobile devices. Is very responsive. That's going to be key. There are a lot of websites that's out there that are still not responsive, so they don't necessarily drag and make it a lot user friendly. So if you have to scroll over or pan over too much, you're probably going to lose sales. So we really want to make sure that our tech is keeping up with our audience. You might also want to understand where important actions happen. So you can focus resources developing your site and apps in places that make the most sense. So understand what works, what doesn't. Is it very obtuse? Are people getting lost and making it very hard to get back to where they were? Things of those sorts. So just kind of understand, going through your UI and UX and understanding exactly what your user is experiencing, and it may help you to drive more sales. And with that, I will give it back to Nicole. Thanks. Cool. All right. So she may be.
I'm over here just talking up a storm.
There you go.
Thank you, Fred. All right, y'all. So we are tag teaming this endeavor today, and I am absolutely happy to be here. Thank you, Fred. This is why we're tag teaming, right? Like we got a good collaboration here, and we are making sure that you understand how you can use Google Analytics in your business to make better business decisions. So Fred's just gone over some of the great tools that are at your disposal inside of Google Analytics. Now we're going to pop in and go right on into Google search inside of Google Analytics. So earlier in the presentation, you heard that, hey, Google Analytics has a search box, and there is an analytics intelligence, which is also a tool that helps you to use machine learning. And you may not even know that. Use machine learning to help you find the answers that you're looking for and to surface up some trends and insights that might be important to your business. So let's take a look at how you can use that. One of the most useful features in Google Analytics is the search box, always. It allows you to type in your questions in everyday language. So something that is reasonable to you in your own nomenclature and connects you with a potential answer, so possible answer. So it's not necessarily always going to be the answer, but it is definitely a possibility. The search box is one of the features that makes up the analytics intelligence. So that's a different kind of AI that empowers your insights and advanced features such as conversion modeling. All right, so AI in this instance is analytics intelligence versus artificial intelligence, right? So it's using machine learning. At the top of the analytics reports, you're going to see a search box. So that search box also should say powered by analytics intelligence. This tool helps by delivering the answers you need when you are uncertain about where to look. It can also help you to find admin pages, account or property configuration pages, and also searched as the help center content, which is super important. Using the search box is pretty straightforward. Y'all already know how to use Google search. So what you're going to do in this instance is just type in a word, a phrase, or a question to get instant access to answers, reports, and insights. For example, if you enter the question, which channel had the highest goal conversion rate? You're going to see a report ranked with a list of goal conversion rates, and it's going to be ordered by channel. If you wanted to give a colleague some access to your Google Analytics account, you could say, add new user, and it's going to show you a link to the account access management page, which is an admin page that allows you to what? Add new users. Do you remember that when we reviewed the analytics homepage, that we mentioned that you would find insights when you scroll down? Well, those insights are also powered by analytics intelligence. The automated insights surface when unusual changes or emerging trends in your data are detected. Insights can help explain trends, they can help you manage changes, and they can identify opportunities that are impacting your business. You can create custom insights, up to 50 per property. These show up in your account, and they can also be emailed to you as alerts. Each time you interact with an insight, analytics intelligence learns more about what you are interested in and ranks new insights accordingly. So now you know how the search box helps you to find the information you need. If you have experience working with Google Analytics already, you may already be accustomed to and possibly prefer working with dimensions, secondary dimensions, and/or segments. So you can still use those in these features. If you're not familiar with what those terms are, then let's go through that really quickly. So a dimension is a descriptive attribute or a characteristic of an object that can be given different values. An example of a dimension is a city. Possible values for that would be things like Atlanta, Seattle, Chicago, Albany, a city. Okay. Each analytic report includes a primary dimension. Think of a dimension as sort of a lens that will let you view the data. So sometimes you want to dig in deeper. So maybe you want a secondary lens. And so there is a secondary dimension. If your primary dimension is going to be the city, then you can layer a secondary dimension, and it would be something like the browser, because that's data that gets tracked every single time you hit a website. Now the reports can also show you the city and the browser which are being used. So now you can identify that in Atlanta, you want to know all of your Chrome users, or maybe you want to know all the users who are still using Internet Explorer, because there's a lot. And finally, segments. Segment is a subset of your analytics data. For example, if you wanted to see a report about visitors from Chicago that are using Chrome browsers, you can do that. Now, do you see how dimensions can help pinpoint the audience that you're looking for and also help you to isolate data from your reports? And I think that's pretty cool. So y'all know I got a whole lot of things to say about data I'm withholding. So we're going to continue on to talk about advanced analytics. Users should check out a tool that is called Explorations, Advanced Analytics, okay? So standard analytics reports, man, they give you a whole lot of information, but they operate and they're very specific and standard, right? To provide a relevant data to what's on that report. But once you have explorations turned on, you can access all of your data. You can pinpoint exactly what you want to see to get more in-depth insight into user behaviors on that site. The kind of specific information you generate with explorations can become a valuable tool in guiding your business plans and your goals. It is worthwhile to open this tab and take some time to actually experiment with the different reports. All right. So let's go back to Eva and Ricky. So let's go back to them and wrap up. So we've just talked about why you need Google Analytics, how you can use Google Analytics to make yourself a little bit more technically savvy when it comes to the data behind your online business. And we've also talked about how to actually dig into the reporting. Eva and Ricky, at the beginning, they set a SMART goal. Remember that? So they set that goal to increase website traffic by 10% in 3 cities. By using Google Analytics to discover how their most active users were finding their site in each city, they were able to adjust their marketing efforts to reach more people. At the end of the quarter, Google Analytics was able to show them that the traffic in all 3 cities had increased by more than 10%. So they had reached the goal they set. Yay! But increased traffic did not lead to more sales in those 2 cities. It did lead to increased sales in those 2 cities, but it did not increase sales in the 3rd. So based on this information, they decided to pause that version of the campaign in that 3rd city. And then they focused their resources where it was working. How many times are our resources focused on things that just don't work? We continue to do the same thing over and over and over again. And it's like, well, sometimes it's got to work. No, refocus your energy. Of course, that doesn't mean that the 3rd city isn't going to be a good market. It just means you have to fine tune what you're doing. The analytics reports show that their campaign just needed a little adjustment. Once they were able to do that, analytics were able to show reports that were focused on that area and that campaign. Ava and Ricky were able to track and measure results. All right, using Google Analytics with Google Ads. So let's cover one last Google Analytics benefit. It connects and communicates with other tools. So Google is really good about integrating its tools to be able to use them with each other. This allows other tools to benefit from Google Analytics data. So you know that if you're a WordPress user, right? Like, you can pop in your Google Analytics on your CMS. We talked about those earlier. And that's only if you're choosing to share it. So you get the option to opt into that. If you're using Google Ads, you'll want to link it to Google Analytics. Why? Well, you can learn what happens after users click on your ad. This helps you to understand visitor behavior, specifically paid ad visitor behavior. This information can help you learn what's working and what might need to be improved so that you can optimize your campaign. You can focus efforts on specific user groups based on their previous behavior. You can define customer groups by their activity on your site. For instance, you can identify an audience who has put together 3 or more items in their shopping cart, but then turned around and abandoned it. By offering this group a temporary promotion, you might be able to convince them to finish up that transaction instead of just leaving it there. And you can better understand your paid traffic. If keywords are not converting, then maybe it's time to change them. By linking Google Ads with your Google Analytics, you'll learn if clicks on your ads are translating to conversions on your site. All the other information Google Analytics can help you learn about that whole entire visit. So all that information is going to be at your disposal. To link your Google Ads with Google Analytics, you first must have a Google Ads account. So if you don't, take a minute, pause, go out and create one. It takes a minute to get that set up, so go ahead and do that. Or set it up and then come back to the video and finish watching. Make sure that you favorite this video, put it into a playlist or something like that so you can come back to it and make sure that you watch it later. Once your accounts are set up, you can head over to the admin section of analytics. From there, just click the product that you want to connect to under the property column. This process is going to vary slightly depending on what you're doing, how you're doing it, and which account type you're using. But you'll be prompted to link your Google Ads account to your analytics account. Now, here's the kicker. It might take up to 24 hours for the data to appear. All right. Now, here's a tip from me to you. I am somebody with a whole bunch of different Google accounts for various reasons, right? Mainly because I am also a mini domain investor. So everything that I create, I get some emails for it. But if you register all of your products under the same Google account, it makes linking those products together a whole lot easier, right? So it'll give you access a lot faster than having to go through the iterations each time. Woo, we're at the end here. So we covered a whole lot of information today. So let's talk about what you should do with all that information next. So first of all, I want to tell you that no matter where you are, please take a minute and like and subscribe to this video. If you're watching us live, thank you for being here. If you are watching us on the Black Business Network, Pod TV, Roku, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Amazon Audible, if you're listening to the audio version of this, check it out on our YouTube or over on Spotify. You are able to save this information and come back to it. So I recommend replaying it 3 or 4 times. Don't be selfish with this video either. Share it out with your friends and your community. Make sure that you click that share button and tell them exactly what you think of the information that was shared with you today. So what should you actually do about the information that we covered today? So let's talk about that. If you don't have a Google account yet, set one up. Google Analytics is easy to set up. We walked through that. So go back to that point in the video, and I will create time markers here on our YouTube videos so that you know where we're going through certain things. If you don't have a Google Analytics account yet, go ahead and set that up. We can't do anything. Google can't do anything unless you actually set up an account. So you have to actually do that. So 1, you're going to get your Gmail account together. You're going to get the basic Google account. 2, you're going to go ahead and set up a Google Analytics account. And then 3, you're going to know that you don't get access to anything in the past. So the quicker you get it set up, the better off you're going to be for making decisions and being able to start and hit the ground running, okay? So if you don't think you're ready to do it, set it up now so that you are gathering data for when you are, okay? So take some time, make the space. If you already have a Google Analytics account, don't forget, it's changing over. So go ahead and switch over to Google Analytics 4 so that you can continue to use those reports and you won't be bogged down by this process later on when you actually are very busy, okay? After July 1st, 2023, you're gonna have to make that switch anyway, so you might as well do it now. All right, now when you're ready to dive in, use the reports to understand your site and your visitors, whether that's on a website or an app. Use that information to your benefit. Learn what your users are interested in so that you can keep providing them with the content that they actually want. Based on what you're learning, you're going to be able to set goals and try some new things. Experiment with that content, get that social media marketing out there, and then try out online marketing. And I want you to remember to use Google Analytics to measure your results. Help you, and you're going to use that to help you see if your campaigns are going to help you reach your goals. So if you're going to set up this whole beautiful campaign, put all this work into it, it's not even getting you towards your goal. What are you doing? If they are not working, You got to try something else. So try something different. If you enjoyed these video lessons, guess what? Black Multiverse Enterprises is continuing to do this every single Tuesday and Thursday from now until the beginning of the year. So the end of 2022, we're going to stop. We're going to do something different. But 2023 is on its way. So all the way from now, so basically all the way through the rest of the fourth quarter, in terms of year, we are going to be providing this training to you, or this type of training to you, every single Tuesday and Thursday from 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to around noon Eastern Standard Time. So we want you to learn, we want you to skill up. But guess what? That's not all, because Google also has that same desire. So you're going to be able to grow with Google on your own. So tap in at the Grow with Google YouTube channel, and you can find that at youtube.com/growwithgoogle. That channel is going to publish a new video every Thursday. So on Thursdays, you get a double whammy. You get the Black Multiverse Enterprise version, as well as the Grow with Google version of some really cool things that are going to help you to skill up, to get prepared for a career, and to also enable your business. If you're looking to start a new career and land a competitively paid job or build skills to grow in your career, first of all, Black Multiverse Enterprises is hiring. So we have positions available. We also are a recipient of a $150,000 Google grant that has given us Google career certifications and certificates to pass along to our employees. So those employees are going to be empowered with this same program, okay, except it's complimentary. So Google career certificates can give you a path to in-demand jobs with top employers like Black Multiverse that are currently hiring. You can earn a certificate and prepare for a new career in a high growth field in under 6 months, even if you don't have relevant experience. Learn at your own pace and complete the program on your own terms. These certificates are available in IT support, project management, UX design, data analytics, and digital marketing and e-commerce. I am actually enrolled myself in digital marketing and e-commerce because this is a skill set I don't necessarily have, and I want to build it up. And so I'm getting mine. I've already obtained a certificate for the first portion of my courses, and will continue to do that in the coming months as I have time. I am an avid advocate of alternative learning. And so this is right up my alley. This has always been up my alley. So you are able to obtain this as well for your business. Now, if you have a nonprofit, you are also able to take advantage of that with Grow with Google. And that organization is going, like Fred's, is going to be able to take advantage of the same kind of thing as well for your communities. So we want you to be eligible for these types of things. We want you to get out there and spread the good word, spread the information that's available. Grow with Google is an initiative that helps people prepare for work, to find jobs, and to grow their business. Job seekers, teachers, small business owners, startups, and developers are going to be able to grow with Google. We want to thank you guys for listening in today. We want to say thank you for joining us in this experience. Man, and when I say thank you, I am going to say thank you to Fred Brandon. Fred, man, thank you for being here. Thank you for tapping in and supporting this endeavor. And congratulations to you on also being a Grow with Google partner. And we look forward to being able to do this together again. So tell everybody how they can get in touch with you and in touch with the Flames Foundation.
Well, thank you, Nicole. This was a great opportunity, and I loved every minute of it. I mean, this is one of the areas that I love the most, just understanding data, understanding how you can utilize it, whether you're understanding the traffic that's coming through your website, through your apps, and being able to gauge it, as well as you talked about just knowing who opens your email and being able to go from there and start to figure out where I may need to work on my strengths and things of that sort. So I love this topic. And yeah, if you want to reach out to me, you can reach me at fbflamesfoundation.org. That is the website, as well as FB Flames Found on all social media. So Instagram, Facebook, all of them, all of them, Twitter, all of them. So just make sure you reach out to us there.
All right, so we got fbflamesfoundation.org. I put that into the comments, so anybody who is watching us live, or if you're watching the replays, you're going to be able to tap into Fred and the Flames Foundation. Guys, I want to absolutely, again, just say thank you, Fred, for coming through. And we are going to be, again, doing this every Tuesday and every Thursday from now until the end of the year. We have a new topic every single Tuesday, every single Thursday. You can watch the replays on Black Multiverse live, and you can sign up at blackmultiverse.io/sign up. And that is going to get you on the list so that you get an invitation to the party, because every Tuesday and Thursday we're going to be doing this. If you want to jump into Blackverse and learn all about the power of decentralization, please contact me. Connect with us. Go to blackverse.io. And if you would like to have a meta mind shift, you want to know more about what the metaverse has to offer to you and to your business, you can connect with me right there at metamindshift.com. And so I appreciate everybody for coming through. Thank you guys for listening. We see you, Dr. Tammy. We see you, Coop. We see you, Grand Woo. I appreciate everybody from Blackverse showing up and showing out for sure. And thank you once again to the Black Business Network, the Black Business Olympics, and the Black Business Expo, USA.com. If you guys are speakers and you have a business, you would like to put your business on a global platform, you can reach out to Black Business Expo, USA.com and become a speaker. Put your business on a global platform for 40 minutes. Our next Black Business Olympics is happening November 14th through the 20th. And that is a 24/7 extravaganza with the Black business owners providing their Black business expertise on a global platform. So thank you guys for tapping in. We are going to go out with a message from our sponsors. And then, and really quickly, I want to say thank you to the EE Testing Center, who supports each and every endeavor that we always do. So thank you to them. They're out in LA. And so if you have a need to get CLEP testing done or Pearson testing, and you need some proctored testing, the EE Testing Center is where you're going to go to make that happen. We appreciate Bert Rell out there, who is also a member of the Blackverse community, always supporting each and every endeavor that we do. So we're going to give him a minute. And then we're also going to go out with a Black Multiverse commercial. And you guys, if you are here at the end of the year and you're thinking about how to pay tribute to your community members, or you're looking for a way to shake things up and do something a little different than just a regular old Christmas party, think about a Black Multiverse Hall of Fame for your community. That is what we do. We provide those straight to you for you and everything that you do. So tap in. We are excited to be able to present the Black Speakers Hall of Fame for 2022. And we are looking for your nominations and looking for folks to put in and highlight as well. So if that's you, then come and talk to me, metamindshift.com. If you'd like to nominate somebody, then please also reach out to me at metamindshift.com. All right, y'all. Thank you so much.